There we go. Hi, guys.
Okay, good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Or as I guess they call it now, just day, because they're all the same. Thank you for joining us. We're going to try something different today. I still have no clue how the hell this is going to work. By the way,
Or
you're
if
having
it's
coffee,
going to work.
Tiffany?
Like, let's be honest. Pardon me?
You're having coffee, yes?
I'm having coffee.
Okay, that's not very exciting. Anyone having anything fun? I'm having water, so we're all not very exciting today.
Hydration's exciting. Caffeine is exciting. Maybe
in moderation. Okay, so we don't actually know exactly. Like this is like most things at our lovely organization.
Wait. I mean, organization is maybe unfair to.
Okay, most things that I do directly, we'll put it that way.
No, I'm just saying, like, we're saying we're an organization. Like, that's maybe a caliber that we've not quite achieved.
Okay,
fair. Organized
exactly. At our, the OMAT headquarters here in wherever the hell we are, somewhere in between. So yeah, we would love to have some readers join us. We don't actually know in particular what we're going to talk about or how many people are going to join us or how this is going to work. Tiffany's handling the tech fun of this, so we will. By the way, I will say now, so if I can just, for accountability purposes, so I'm having water. So on Sunday, for those of you who, there's no reason you would remember this, but on Sunday, I was very tired during the virtual brunch. I did not sleep well the night before. Long story short, as of Sunday, I have started intermittent fasting. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, wait, now I can actually see.
Yes. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You're not muted. Good. Okay. Aren't people coming in muted or not?
I just added Danielle because your story was about to be boring. So we just skipped ahead.
Perfect. Hi, Danielle. Where are you? And
hey.
What time is it? I guess.
I'm in DC. It's 6:30 right now, so same time zone as you, Ben.
And are you drinking anything, whether alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
I haven't started, but I'm famous for drinking I always say, like, I'm drinking the tawny port. I've been having a lot of that since quarantine. I try to limit it to every other week so I don't like overdo it. Because it's like 20, that stuff's 20% alcohol.
So one time every other week, you're saying, or like a whole week and then a week off?
Like I try to buy I try to wait 2 weeks before I buy another bottle of it because I think I need to have like some less alcoholic stuff.
Got it. That's
got to keep,
cool.
So yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, Tiffany, how are we? And hello. Sorry, how do I figure out who? Dante.
Yes, but nobody else can see Dante yet. We'll just never mind. We'll
sorry, I don't.
No, it's okay.
We'll do.
There's now 4 people on the YouTubes.
Okay, Tiffany, because I don't know the order in which stuff is happening here, so you need to.
Right, Ben, you need to not look at Skype.
Okay, well, I'll just be looking at my.
And hi, Dante.
phone.
You should unmute yourself, and we can talk.
So, hi everybody.
Hi.
This is Casey. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Where are you, and what are you drinking, if anything?
I'm in Boston, and I'm drinking beer. I'm about to grab a beer.
Good.
Yeah, I'm grabbing my drink now too, so that I can join on the party.
Fantastic. This is cool. Excellent. And is it cold, or how is the weather in Boston?
It's actually finally warming up. It was like mid-60s today, which was pretty nice. We're finally getting some sun and a little bit of warm weather.
Isn't there a winter storm coming somewhere or something?
This weekend we are getting a bit of a polar vortex, so enjoying the couple days of warm weather before it goes right back to what it's been for the past 6 months.
Nice. That's Wait, Tiffany, now you disappeared from the screen. What the hell? Oh wait, you're up there. You're the little dot thing.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just not on. You can stop looking at Skype. Like, that's not where I am. That's not where
I see you there. You're there. You're there. It's okay. So, Tiffany, who do we have next here? What's the order of?
You want me to just keep randomly adding people in and out? Like, what's?
Well, no. I mean, we have to talk. We have things to talk about. There's stuff to do. So, what do you guys want to talk? Well, first, we have more people who joined us. So, what is the order we're doing here? I'm very overwhelmed, and I haven't had anything to drink, so I'm very confused.
One thing I wanted to mention.
Okay. Thank you for taking charge of the situation, Danielle.
So last week I apologize to all the readers and listeners. I was a bit of a broken record on this, but there was a lot of talk about, oh my God, like, am I preferred, like, how who's getting 30 transactions in a month? Well, it's hard, but I do $1 Amazon gift cards, and so I do as many as I need to get me up to 30. And that's like I always said, Amazon is basically cash to me. So I mean, if you're not too many away, just $1 gift cards a bunch of times, and you're still at 30. Now, granted, if you're not spending enough money on it, I probably am not spending enough money on this card. I know I'm not, in fact, to like make it totally worth it. But yeah, I mean, whoever's having a hard time getting 30, I hope it's an option. But I do $1.
Go ahead. Sorry. What? Where? Who? I can't see. So I have the Everyday Preferred as well, and I have been doing similar math. So first of all, I also do the Amazon $1 reload. So good job. That's the way to do it. Now, are you benefiting from the gas bonus or the supermarket bonus, or both?
The supermarket one.
And does the math change on that now that you have the Sapphire Reserve or something with the 5 times points temporarily, or the Freedom, or are you an Amex person only?
I have the Freedom, which is why I've put all my groceries. I'm putting groceries on the Freedom while they have that bonus, and then when that comes off, if it does come off, and I unfortunately have the Sapphire and that shitty rule about 4 years, and then you can get the Reserve. So now I'm stuck. But yeah, I have the Preferred, so 3 times the points is not going to match the 4.5 or 5 that I'm getting now in the Freedom.
There's so many people have joined us. Tiffany, okay, how are we? I'm so excited.
Okay, Danny, I'm gonna drop you out and then talk to Dante. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people. Do you want?
But we have questions, travel stories.
You're gonna have to speed it up. I've got like 50 people who are sitting here on Skype and want to talk to you.
Any fun stories? Any concerns? Any things you're looking forward to about travel someday? Any tips for being at home and not going crazy?
I have solo sung and dance parties on my rooftop. That's how I don't go crazy.
What are you singing to though?
Like Avicii or pop music. I'm very into K-pop actually. Ben, one of your articles got me onto K-pop a while ago, and you wrote about Oh My Girl. So that's been a big interest of mine recently.
Cool. I mean, I never thought I would be one to get somebody else into K-pop.
I guess it's a claim to fame.
Cool. I mean, thank you for joining us and for this. Sorry, there's a lot of it's exciting, but
Okay, Dante, you're up. Danny will add you back in, but now things are maybe exploding.
This is crazy. Whoa! Oh, so wait, sorry, I'm up for.
Yeah.
Let's hear what.
Why are we crazy? What's a fun fact? Where are you? Say hi.
Boston.
Boston.
No, so
drinking.
Yeah, I'm in Boston. I don't know. Fun fact: I'm from Toronto, Canada. I guess that would be my coolest fun fact. But I came to I've been reading One Mile at a Time for like fairly recent. I got into the points game fresh out of college in like 2018, and so I found this website. I've read it like sporadically, but then like for the past 6 months, it's like on my every day. I just come in and check in and see what's being posted. I've taken a lot of things from this, and I'd say my most recent trip was in November. I went to Australia. Sporadically, I had time off for Thanksgiving from work, and I just started browsing miles flights, and I found reward space using American to take Cathay Pacific down there, and so just within a week, like booked a ticket and flew business, and that was cool for me because it was my first time.
And
like booking
hooked.
a flight on my own. I've done it a bunch with my dad. My dad's huge into points, but it was cool to like have my first trip. So anyway, I don't know. That was just a random.
Did you learn points from him, or was it independently that you started to look into it? Or
I took it. I definitely learned like a lot from him, and I've gotten to do a lot of traveling with him because he's so big into points. Like Dubai. On Emirates business class, London in first class on British Airways, just a bunch of stuff. And so I definitely got it from him of like, when I was younger, I was like, how are we doing these things? Because like, we don't have money like that. And it was like, I get points. And then, so I got it from him. And now we have this constant battle of like who the true points person is in the family.
I have faith in you. You'll make it.
Thank you.
Thank you for reading. That's so cool. It's nice to. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I gain a lot. So I think your blog is honestly. I used to read the Points Guy a lot, and now I'm not bashing the Points Guy, but like I spend more time.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I spend a lot more time reading yours than that website now.
That's very sweet. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Tiffany, are we just kicking people off here? It seems like that game show where the floor opens and people. It just seems very mean.
Well, now I have a system, which is I'm going to tell people, but it's not me. It says that I'm commenting on Skype as someone. I don't know, but maybe you guys are figuring it out. So I'm going to add people next. I'll tell them. Hopefully they have a heads up so they can unmute themselves. So. And
if anybody has any questions for anyone as we go along, please. I guess, sorry, Tiffany, you can jump in with any questions that anyone has based on these things. So,
right.
Because
I'm trying to add comments and stuff to the broadcast for people who are watching too. So what is one thing, before you go, Dante, that you wish that you'd known earlier about miles and points that you're like, oh, that would have been good.
I bought some American airline miles to top off in November, and I had just got I finally opened a Chase Freedom, but I've had my Amex Platinum and Sapphire Reserve, and I didn't realize that American codes there. It's like you buy it through them and not points.com, and I wasn't paying attention. So I could have got 5x because I spent a good sum of money on some points, and I was just so annoyed. I honestly realized it like a month ago and was just hitting myself like, I wish I realized that they do it differently than most of the other programs.
That is a great lesson.
Yeah,
because
that's a really good tip.
It's tough to keep track of which program does points.com and which does.
Yes.
So cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Does everyone look in the same order as it looks to me, Tiffany?
I don't know what you can see.
Now we have the gentleman with the cool headphones.
Yes.
Hi, Euro.
Hello.
Hi.
Hope you can see me.
We can. Where are you? And how are you? And
I'm located in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Right now, surviving. I'm on 3 canceled conventions right now and 1 major canceled vacation. But, well, we'll see what we can do for next year.
Where is the canceled vacation to?
Dubai and Italy.
Okay. Now, hold on. Dubai and Italy. Was this an Alaska award one way to Europe via Dubai, or I'm just trying to think how...
I had intended on dumping my Delta Sky miles, but the problem is because of their married segment logic, I could only get as far as London, but I found award space from London to Abu Dhabi on Etihad, so I was able to book that in first class, and then I was going to fly back to Italy, spend some time there, and then fly back to the United States on Swiss.
And so these canceled conventions, are you happy or actually sad about that? Because,
it's a bit of column A and a bit of a column B because I've been wanting some time for myself just to catch up on a lot of things that I've been putting off for years. But it's also how I accrue my points.
And where are you most excited to go when this is all done, or whatever happens?
It's got to be that Dubai trip and also to Italy.
Very cool. That's does anyone have questions that are and a tip? Should we do the same thing you wish you had known earlier? How long have you been into Miles and Points, and what do you wish you'd known earlier?
I've been in the Miles and Points game since, I want to say 2011, 2012, and it was because of a very badly ruined vacation that I got into the whole thing.
Oh boy.
What happened there? And
I was involuntarily denied boarding with my family on a trip back from China, and I found out just how ill-prepared my family was. We were supposed to arrive back in Minnesota on Saturday at about 6:30 a.m. We ended up back in Minnesota Sunday at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We ended up overnighting at Los Angeles International, Bradley Terminal. because my family did not want to pay for a hotel room.
But hold on, you were
Oh, boy.
involuntarily denied boarding, so it was did you get compensation from the airline, or there was?
Well, it was a tour group, so the tour guide had to argue with the airline staff. Eventually, they had settled for 160 US dollars equivalents for every passenger, but we had to spend the night at a very crappy hotel in Shanghai, and they would not rebook us from LA to Minneapolis because it was a separate ticket on Delta. And we had to plead with Delta to have them rebook us. Thankfully, they did. And, well, I started thinking that there may be a better way to do this in the future.
That is a great reason, because I can relate to that. That's, as a kid, we would fly to Germany on Condor in the smoking section of the plane, and I freaking hated that my parents smoked, and that was like, I knew I needed to do something to find other ways to go to Germany. And what's one thing you wish you had known earlier in points?
Transferring points costs money.
With Amex to U.S. programs, or which?
Well,
or
actually,
between.
It was purchasing points cost money. Because my aunt had asked me to help her book a trip to Hong Kong. The problem is she had Delta points, which are not easy to use. And I didn't know anything about points at that time, and I had thought that, well, if you just buy enough points, you would be able to book the trip. But the problem was, after I had finished buying them, I had found that the missing amount, the remaining amount, was only good for one ticket, and she needed two. So, yeah, she was stuck with points that she couldn't use until several years later when I finally was able to let her use them.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us and for reading. Appreciate it. I know you've been at a lot of the happy hours, so thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
What else?
Tiffany,
you're doing a great job
it's
here with
either
transcription.
Dave or David.
Either way, yeah, I think my YouTube is David, but I go by Dave. So either way works for me. But
and I don't want to. I don't want to like reveal because it also showed me your last name on Skype. But does your Flyer Talk handle start with Aloha, or you are a different Dave?
Different Dave.
Okay,
I think
Flyer Talk. You like
my
favorite. No, it's fine. Go for it.
Sorry to disappoint.
No, I was just about to have so many questions about PO boxes, and that was going to be how we spent the rest of this YouTube.
I now feel the need to get on there and look up Aloha Dave. And I think I'm Den Dave on Flyer Talk. I'm not on there a lot, actually, but I'm based in Denver, outside of the Denver metro.
Are you a United Flyer or Frontier or whatever? Or?
Before Frontier went ultra low cost, I was more Frontier. Just I traveled a lot for business at the time, and their schedule and routes worked really well for the trips I was taking. And then, conveniently, when they changed their model, I stopped flying as much for business, so it sort of worked out nice for that. But United is sort of the default. But I find myself, because of points and so on, I grew up in the Midwest and moved here many years ago, but I still have quite a bit of American connection, so I use American a lot too. Just went to Morocco via Qatar on Q suites actually with American points. So that was
slightly
one of my
nicer than my Royal Air Maroc and TAP combo going to Morocco recently.
I was trying so hard on the return trip to do the Etihad with Royal Air Maroc. And I know, like, maybe even on your blog, it's like, availability is usually pretty good. And like literally the block of days, I was pretty flexible. I could come back any day within like 4 or 5, and none of them had availability for a trip back to New York, which is then I planned to stay at the TWA hotel for a layover and then flew back the next morning from there. But I was really trying to, I ended up flying Royal Air Maroc on the way back, but just purchased economy ticket, unfortunately.
What's your favorite airline product you've flown?
The Q Suites was up there, and then my other sort of big redemption if you call it that. I don't know what you call them, but with the ANA, I did the Virgin Atlantic transfer miles from Amex. Virgin Atlantic, which I had some points on there already from another trip on a paid fare. So I didn't even have to transfer everything. But yeah, that was, especially getting the round trip on that, like everything else I've always done has been a one way. And then, figure out some other way to get home or something else. But to sort of have the 1-2 punch of, get to experience it on the way there and, not really knowing like how everything works and, just everything's new. And then on the way back to be like, oh, I got this. I know how this works.
Cool.
It was, I didn't want to get off the plane for sure.
I can relate to that. What's one thing you wish you had known earlier with points? If any?
I don't have any horror, knock on wood. I don't have any horror stories or anything that went wrong that got me into it. I got into it, I think 5 years ago, maybe a little before the CSR came out. I was sort of beginning to ramp up, and I'm a numbers guy in my day job and so on. So I have spreadsheets that figure out the ideal blend of cards with annual fees and trying to make sure I'm being smart about everything. But probably, maybe not something I wish I had learned, but the one area I just don't dabble in, and I'm always tempted to maybe look into it more, is the manufactured spend or just the other tricks to accumulate quicker. I haven't really needed to do it, but just sort of being the numbers person, I'm intrigued by arbitrage opportunities and when you can find those. So, but haven't gone down that road yet.
Excellent. And I guess I should have asked other people.
Yeah, that's the people who are into that are super into it.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be one of those people, but it's always interesting to me because I'm starting to find more and more people who are coming to Miles and Points from that. And they're like, oh, I'd love to travel, but I don't have time. I can't take off from my manufactured spend gig.
Yeah. And I actually more from I actually have decent vacation time with my company, and I take full advantage of it. So luckily on the time front, I'm pretty good. And that's sort of been one of my motivations for the Mile and Points to, maximize the opportunities to travel.
Awesome. And I guess I should have asked in general other people as well. Do you have any questions that we can help you with or anything?
Any questions?
No worries if not. That's the
I guess and this could be a big question, so feel free to not address it. But the big thing I'm beginning to plan for next year, I had a few trips this year sort of put on the back burner, obviously. But I actually have a sabbatical at work coming up next year where I can travel for a month, and I'm trying to figure out combination of not only places I want to go, but airline products to sort of maximize the routing. And I'm thinking Asia, Bhutan, probably go through Singapore. If nothing else, just to fly Singapore Air on a leg. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out cool products and routings, for a month of travel next year, assuming things are calmed down enough and international borders are more open.
How many months?
1 month, so about four weeks or so. Probably pick it's all very tentative right now, but 3 to 4 destinations. Move around every 7 to 10 days.
Tiffany, do you have anything? I feel like
that's just your normal life then.
The world has stopped to the point that I'm just wondering, airlines, products, who will it be flying? Are you traveling alone, or because it's often tougher to find award seats for 2 people than 1?
Sure. Yeah. To be determined. I had a few friends express interest, maybe doing a segment with me. They probably wouldn't do a month, but one destination I'd meet up with some people or something. But I think, at least for now, I'm assuming I'm doing this routing on my own. And then if something changes, I'll figure that out separately.
Cathay Pacific is phenomenal. You can book that with Alaska Miles. Usually there's 1 seat there. Singapore, the new suites is typically only available. Well, sometimes Zurich to Singapore, London to Singapore. That's a great product. I've not done that.
Right. That's actually the thing, is a lot of these great products have better availability when you're not touching North America on your trip. So, you can get access to things that you would otherwise they're just not, they don't release award space in advance to the US.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere on your blog, actually, that the Singapore is, easier to get availability out of Singapore than, going from the US to Singapore to start the trip or something.
And we're actually working on an updated post about how to redeem miles for all the best first class products, which I think was about to be published right when this all started. And then we're like, oh, well, crap, none of these routes actually operate anymore. So
right. Literally, I was working on it on the flight back from Morocco. And it was like, it seems in poor taste.
Actually, I would like to throw out this question to people in general, and you guys can respond in the comments. But how do you feel at this point about points redemption content? It's sometimes a tricky balance because, how to do something with miles and points, but then realizing, oh well, what can you really do? I don't know. I asked that question well. Yeah, I just feel like it's a bad time to write about points.
Cool. Well, I'll look forward to it whenever it comes out. I obviously have a few more months before I start pulling the trigger on things.
Well, good luck. I'm sure it will work out, and let us know how it goes. And there should be good award availability at some point soon once things get back to normal, because planes are not going to be full. I hope the soft product on airlines isn't ruined too much by all this, but down the road. But thank you for joining us, and thanks for reading. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Pedro. Look at how
Hey,
fast
how's
we
it going,
just did
guys?
that transition.
You were dressed very
it's like
professionally.
magic. Yeah, so Pedro, you want to move your
Yeah,
camera
I was-
just a little bit because you're only a third of the screen on YouTube. So
Yeah?
we go. Well, you don't have to be that
Right.
close. It was just the angle. That's better.
Okay, like that?
That's perfect. Yeah, we could just you were like a Picasso. Now-
You were very dressed up. Where are you?
I am. So right now I'm in El Salvador. I actually came here for a business trip 2 months ago, and the airport here closed. So there's been no way to get back to the States. Fortunately, there's still been work to be done here. And I'm actually now considering even moving because this is a very, very awesome place.
Okay,
you
hold on.
basically have moved to El Salvador, is what it sounds like.
So how often?
Well, I moved out of from a hotel to an apartment. Sorry?
How often had you been to El Salvador before this?
Just once.
Oh, just once.
Just
Okay.
once, and it was just a weekend. And so I didn't actually get to experience the country as I would have liked. And then I came here. It was supposed to be like a 2-week assignment, and then no joy. It just kept pushing. It started actually. It's quite interesting because I had quite a few flights in and out of El Salvador, so I had to deal with everybody in terms of flight refunds and whatnot. And the craziest thing happened. The only airline that did not give me any trouble at all with refunds is the one you'd least expected, Spirit, which is crazy. They were like, oh, the airport closed. Oh, okay, no worries. Here's your money back. The call lasted 5 minutes. I was mind blown. I was like, what is this real life?
Are you sure you weren't like charged a secret $125 convenience cancellation fee or something? Because
I've checked my statements and rechecked my statements, and I do that every 2 weeks just in case that happens. But no.
So you've been there for 2 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Is it
I
worth
think
visiting?
Aaron speaks for all of us when he says that's crazy.
It is. It is. It's
Danielle
something
also
that I
said,
would have
"Damn
never
dude,"
thought of.
which I think also.
Now you're actually.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think most of us had like some semblance of like the different airlines and just the typical thing that people say with ultra low cost carriers is like you get what you pay for, right? But I've had Spirit is that specific instance, but I had flights to Mexico with Aeromexico and stuff like that, and it was a fuss. I had flights with United. It was a fuss too. So it's been crazy. And just to answer your question about El Salvador, I definitely recommend it. It's a very, very nice country. It's full of wonderful people, and you eat really, really well here. I'm Mexican, so we have this pride where we say Mexican food is great. El Salvador gives us a good run for our money. So that's always good. And something you'd like specifically, Ben, is that they actually have DC-3s that actually still fly passengers here. So
that's
We're
okay.
going.
Wait, from where? From where to where?
So yeah, they fly from San Salvador, and they fly to both Honduras and just within the country itself. And the flights are insanely cheap. They're like $50 to fly a DC-3, or more specifically, it's C-47, which is the cargo/military version of the DC-3, which is nuts.
Okay,
Tiffany,
so wait, Pedro, how are they handling your visa? Have you overstayed at this point? Somebody's asking. That seems like a good question.
That's an excellent question, and fortunately, the visa here lasts for 6 months. So it'll be the way that you could do it is you can process the renewal. There's bureaucratic ways to do that with the specific ministries, but I'm just fingers crossing that I'm gonna get a long-term contract here, and I'll just straight up move.
Basically have one.
What is the points game like in different? Avianca is the main, or they have a lot of service, right? So
yeah. Well, the points game here is most of my cards are still U.S. cards, right? Because theoretically, I still live in the States, right? But something that I have noticed here.
Good for you.
Something that I have noticed here is that a crazy amount of local companies actually partner with Life Miles. So you can go to literally you can go to a laundry shop and earn Life Mile points with your specific and paying cash, which is crazy. Like, oh, you just give your Life Miles account and they give you points for paying cash, which is something I've never seen anywhere. So
that is amazing. So Pedro,
Life Miles is huge down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you are breaking up a little bit, so I'm going to drop you out and add in Mashad, but you're going to follow up on this because this all sounds amazing.
Okay, we need to I'm going to come to okay, I need to fly that 64-year-old cargo plane from Miami to San Pedro Sula, and then I can fly DC-3 to San Salvador. What could be more fun? I got to figure out how I'm going to book the cargo plane, but come on, this is amazing. So good luck. I hope this all works out. That's really cool.
And also, I'm sorry that you're not home.
It's fine.
You're not sad about it, so we're not sad about it either, I guess.
No, I'm definitely not.
That is an incredible story, so keep it up.
Thanks.
Thank
you. Easy, and thanks for everything you guys do.
Aw, thank you.
Aw, thank you.
Take care.
Hey, Mashad.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
Am I close to saying that right? I'm so bad with pronouncing everything.
Yeah, you got it.
You're a little, you might not have good audio.
Yeah, y'all talked about this earlier, yeah.
Very cool, I think.
I'm actually a college student, so I normally go to college in New Jersey, and I'm class of 2020, but our college closed, so now I'm back home with my parents and God. So.
I'm sorry to hear that, that's...
It's okay. Right now, I'm just busy with, the end of classes and stuff. I haven't really thought about all this stuff, yeah.
Cool. And what is your favorite points redemption you've had, or what are you most looking forward to doing, or where have you been in New Jersey?
So I actually follow 1 mile at a time, mostly because I'm interested in the aviation industry. So I've been following since high school at least, if not earlier. I think I was first. I think I was Googling I wanted to make an American redemption, and I wasn't sure if I should pay for it or use points on it. So I was Googling what is the value of American miles or something, and so that's how I first found your blog. And then I heard things about Qatar Airways has a feud with so and so airline or whatever, and that kind of got me hooked onto it. And then so I've just kind of been mostly following for the airline news, that sort of thing. I actually interned at different airlines for 2 summers. I've worked service during college. So it's mostly that sort of thing. In terms of points redemption. I mean, so I have family in India, so we travel to India a lot. I normally like redeem either like United or American because they're the only two airlines that fly to Brownsville.
Cool. I love the aviation angles. Then who's your favorite airline executive? Or who's the most entertaining airline executive?
Most entertaining. Okay, so in terms of like recently, I would say like Doug Parker is like, especially like in terms of like what he's been saying and stuff like that. He's like kind of like gone up. I worked at JetBlue in Alaska, so like obviously their executives are my favorite because I like worked there myself. Yeah.
Good. No, that's, it's sad because I hate to say this, but I kind of don't hate Doug Parker at this point, which I hated him, but I'm like, I actually kind of have a little bit of respect for him, which.
What about y'all? What are your favorite airline executives?
I mean, I love Tim Clark at Emirates. I think he's brilliant what he's done there. I mean, His Excellency, Mr. Akbar, I don't know if like is the right word. I think he's incredibly passionate and entertaining. Is that a polite, is that good, Tiffany? Is that fair? Okay.
I stopped listening. I've got a lot going on.
Okay. So yeah, Tiffany's like working you have like a production booth there. I love Ben Smith at Air France KLM. I think he's great. He is also a bigger plane geek than anyone else on earth. So it's not often you have an like airline CEO who will show you a plane model and point out, he's like, well, why is this window missing? But he knows everything about planes. So that's cool. And Delta does a good job, but they love their ME3 rhetoric. So that's where are you most excited to go when this is all?
So I was actually supposed to take like a gap year after college, where I like would travel. So now that's kind of on hold, but potentially. So I really, I spent some time in Senegal earlier, and so I really want to go back to West Africa. I really want to go to like Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, if possible, but it might just be reading about it at this point.
It might be a hard year for that.
Yeah. So.
Fair, it'll get there again. Is there anything? What are other industry? What's your favorite aircraft type if you like planes?
Aircraft type? I would say I'm actually not really like a fan of the 747, even though like everybody loves the 747. I would say probably
because you're young.
Hold on, we have to clarify.
Yeah, like I've never.
But you don't have the nostalgia for it. Like I remember being
7
years old and going up on the upper deck of a 747 between San Francisco and Honolulu as an unaccompanied minor, getting an op-ups. Like, so there's some nostalgia. You're just like, whatever. It's a noisy, slow plane.
Exactly.
There's which plane is pretty, and then there's which plane is fun to fly as a passenger. So,
controversial opinion. I don't think the 747 is that pretty either. Like it's not that symmetric even. Like I don't know, I like the 787. If you had to
you're breaking up.
You don't like the 747? I'm sorry. That is how. Okay.
I'm sorry, but like it's not that fuel. Okay, like the old one at least before the 747-8 is not that fuel efficient, and like the 787 is like
obviously they're gas guzzlers and they're not actually efficient, but like it's a damn pretty plane.
But like the 787 is so symmetric. Like the 747 has this weird thing, and then it like I don't know.
That's the beauty, the asymmetry.
Okay, I don't know.
Asymmetria. I don't know. One of those. I mean, and okay, so 787 is your favorite?
Yeah, I would say so, or A350, but I would say 787 just because like it's slightly more like a little more out there in terms of what it has. Yeah.
Fair. Do you have any questions related to anything that's
question?
You have to ask one.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I was thinking about was like, so I'm a huge fan because as I said, I want to go to West Africa, and so I'm a huge fan of like the intercontinental Africa redemptions, and I was really like, that was one disappointing thing with Morocco moving to Europe because I was like, oh, now like it's more expensive to just go from like Senegal to Morocco or like Togo to Morocco or whatever. So like, I don't know. Do you have any like recommendations for like good like intercontinental Africa redemptions?
We should have Sean on as well here too, because
true.
But I mean, so there are now, at least with Royal Maroc, you can redeem British Airways Avios for
Oh, true.
So their surcharges are high, though, I believe, for Royal Air Morocco, but still it's a good option. And if it's a short distance, then it ends up being a good deal. Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, if South African Airways, South African Airways is going out of business, I guess-ish.
Right.
But
you have Ethiopian, which has excellent coverage. So
True, yeah.
that opens up a lot of Star Alliance awards that you can do some complicated things with. And that's a good place to do United Awards and the Excursionist perk because they separate North Africa and South Africa in ways that are sometimes really lucrative for that.
Yeah, you can fly from like Dakar to Johannesburg for like 17.5K via like Addis and like somewhere else as well with South African we're still operating.
Sorry, I'm just getting water.
I know, Ben, so many people are sad that you're not drinking.
Yes. So can I explain this in 30 seconds or less?
You can explain it as long as you want.
Okay. So, obviously, I spent the past 2 months basically eating and drinking nonstop because that's literally what you do when you're at home all day. So, it's really fun to drink every day. Like, it is. But then at some point, you just feel like crap. So, anyway, as of Sunday, we have started intermittent fasting, which sounds like we'll see how it goes. But, so you don't eat for 16 hours and then you eat for 8 hours. And not like you eat for 8 hours straight. It's not like you go to a feeding trough or tro or whatever the hell it is and eat for 8 hours. But, you eat over an 8-hour period. And it's been great because you don't think about food the other 16 hours because you can't have it. So, and unfortunately, my period of eating is over, so I have no option but to have water anymore. So until...
So you would love this joke that my aunt sent me. On average, a panda feeds for approximately 12 hours per day.
The same as someone during COVID.
Which is why we call it a pandemic.
That's good. I didn't even... that's good. So anyway, we'll see how it goes, but I have decided along with that to do a 5:30 run most mornings. So trying to go the opposite direction. I will probably regret it because it's a lot more fun to drink, but yeah. So we'll see. Thank you for joining us. And
thank you.
Do you want to work in the industry full time after your college? Well, I guess that's soon.
Yeah, that's something I'm thinking about right now. Like, obviously, right now you can't really work in the industry because they're like negative in that area. But maybe eventually, yeah, potentially. I'm not sure yet.
Well, good luck. It's maybe not the ideal time to go to the industry, but hopefully in a few years things will be better.
Yeah, for sure.
I thank you for joining us, and I'll be the next time. I'll be thinking of you the next time I see a Swift airplane deporting people from Miami, flying to wherever it goes, and then it goes to Brownsville. So
yeah, I don't know what those flights are for, but hopefully, I don't know. Yeah.
Somebody knew something. I don't know. And there was another one yesterday. So there's not many planes anymore. So when I hear a plane, I immediately go to Flight Radar for every single one. Yesterday morning, I started tracking every single plane and writing down a note just to see how many there were. That's how bored I am at this point with the lack of planes. So anyway, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Gil,
hello. You have a very glamorous background. This is you are.
You're on, Gil. You're on mute. Hit the microphone button and turn that on so we can hear you.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. This is my tiny New York City apartment.
It's very colorful. I love it.
I love it. And your shirt coordinates with your. I love this. This whole look is amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
The shirt matches even the wall. That's cool.
Yes.
Stripes are going the opposite direction, so it's like a whatever it is. So, how are you? And
I'm holding up. You guys are helping to keep me sane with your happy hour and your brunch, and connected. And it's.
What are you drinking, if anything?
Seltzer.
Okay, good. What was your last trip, and what are you most looking forward to?
My last trip was FTU in DC back in March, and I'm looking forward to getting on a plane and going anywhere at this point.
That's join the club. Are you looking forward to? Well, I guess probably not driving somewhere, but are you? No, okay.
I don't even drive, so.
Right, I actually said that. I was like, you could just come to Spokane because I have space, and I know that all the New York people are going crazy, and Gil's like, no, I don't drive. I'm an actual legitimate New Yorker. I don't drive.
Yeah.
So wait, you have like, when did you last drive?
Never.
Wait, you've never driven at all?
No.
You've passengered, but you've never driven. You've not operated a motor vehicle.
Correct.
Wow, good for. I mean, have you driven like a go-kart or a video game thing, or you're just avoiding it? I love it.
I've driven the little things at Disney World with my goddaughter and stuff, and
I mean, good for you. That's really the best way to go because driving sucks. So
speaking of your goddaughter, I don't think this is giving too much information, but you are one of those people who's frequently doing the like JFK London.
Correct.
What have you found is the best strategy for that? Like, what do you do? Because as I know, a route that it's the most popular route that people always want to fly. Miles, deals. What do you do?
Yeah, I typically I'll get to the airport early enough to have dinner in the lounge. I get on the flight as soon as we get up. I lay flat and sleep, and then I'll go to the arrivals lounge for breakfast. So I don't eat on board at all going over.
Which airline do you prefer on that?
Well, I'm top tier on British Airways and Virgin Atlantic, so I kind of split it up to mix it up a bit.
So I mean, New York, London, very competitive market. Do you prefer? We'll compare old products. So old British Airways Club World versus old Virgin Atlantic upper class. Which do you prefer for New York, London? And does it depend on whether it's the red eye or the daytime coming back?
I prefer, I guess, Virgin for the the eastbound. Westbound.
Because of the product, or because of like there's actually an arrivals lounge that's open?
Both.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I tend to sleep a little better on well, it depends on the aircraft. Because sometimes on British Airways, the footrest will collapse. And,
yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
The like falling
Yes,
divider.
I love the Clubhouse JFK. They are,
yes.
or at least back in the day, they used to be very fun there.
And I'm very friendly with Maureen, who works there. I hope she still has a job when this is all
Wait,
over.
hold on. Maureen in the spa or in the, hold on.
She works as a server.
Hold on. I see. So I have a history at this lounge. Hold on here. Let me see if I'm. Hold on here. Sorry, or not. Hold on. Sorry. You can continue. But I feel like I know Maureen. God, why am I forgetting all their names suddenly? Oh my God. I haven't been there in 5 years, but my God, they're the friendliest people, and I know. Why do I?
She's been there forever. Even when the lounge was outside of security, when it was. Yeah, she's been there a long time.
They make really good cocktails. That's learned that. So, is the spa still open there?
Well, it was the last time I flew them, but I don't know what's. I think it's probably all closed right now because they're.
I'm sorry. It's closed. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Do you ever fly American or just or on New York, London, or you do British Airways over American?
I'll do American as well. It depends on how the timing works and.
What's your favorite product you've ever flown?
Oh, the Etihad Apartments.
How far back does that go? Because what level of their soft product?
It was in August of 2019.
And where were you going? Or I mean, Abu Dhabi, but were you connecting to somewhere?
I was going. I had gotten a Qantas F award to Sydney, and then some friends of mine were getting married in Stockholm, so I canceled the return, redeposited the miles for the Qantas F back to New York, and then I booked Etihad from Sydney to Abu Dhabi to London, stayed in London a few days, and flew to Stockholm.
That's
See, this is one of these things that I love, and I think sometimes people who are newer to the blog get a little like mind blown at this, but like you have friends all over the world, right, that you've met through travel and frequent flying, so it sounds really ridiculous when you say that to someone else, but like you've built these relationships up over a long time. Like when was the last time you went someplace and didn't know someone there?
It's a long time ago. I mean, I remember flying American, I guess it was in 82 or 83. Yes, I'm old. And they had this video about, join our new frequent flyer program. You can earn miles for free trips, and I was on it like immediately.
I mean, I would say what's one thing you wish you had known earlier, but if we're going back to 82, then I'm not sure there's a whole lot you wish you
89 was the best when it was triple miles all year.
What year was that?
89.
Oh, 89. Because didn't they have... I'm probably going crazy. Wasn't it after also when American had the MD-80 disaster or something I don't know. There have not been good promotions in like 10 years is what I'm getting at. Like, it's been a long time.
True.
I'm like, I remember something really good, but I can't actually...
I'm pretty sure you don't remember
back
a
in the day,
promotion from
American
1989.
do like chocolate chip cookies and all this stuff. When you're executive platinum every year for the holidays, you get a nice little box from them.
That's true. That is, yeah, they don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
Goodness gracious. That's, do you have any questions for anything fun or not fun?
Any questions?
If you do,
any burning questions?
I feel like you wouldn't have any
questions.
You've been doing this for a long time, so.
No, I'm just biding my time and waiting for this to all get behind us and then start traveling again.
Well, hang in there. New York is not an ideal place, probably.
No, it's not.
But hang in there. I hope to see you soon in person. It's been a while.
Absolutely.
So it's yeah. That's I don't know when, a long time ago, or has.
Yeah, I think I met you the first time in 2013 at FTU in Tampa.
Ah, yes, the Grand Hyatt Tampa. That was.
And Tiffany as well, but she probably didn't remember because you were very busy that day.
I was trying to keep Ben's parents drunk.
Okay.
My parents were there.
That is what I did most of that weekend. Was like, Arno, do you want to have some wine? And he was like, oh yes, Barbara, come have some wine.
Oh, it's true. Well, thank you for joining us.
And thank you guys.
Hang in there. We'll get through this soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Tiffany, is there anyone else lined up, or are we?
No, it is just us to wrap up the last like 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's. Did anybody have any questions or something that we can? Because this was very fun. We didn't probably get to any.
Fast. There's a couple questions that we didn't answer. Somebody joked that, like, the daily Virgin Atlantic question didn't get answered.
We should have asked Gil what he thinks the odds are of Virgin Atlantic making it. But wait, is he still on or not? 50? Are we going 50-50? We'll see.
We're 50-50. I can add Gil back in. Virgin Atlantic, are they going to make it? Yes or no?
Because I'm looking at the screen.
I hope so. I've got almost 1 million miles on them too. So, and I think there's a 50-50 chance. Yeah.
We'll hope better. They have great people, and it would be a shame to see them go out of business, and at the same time to British Airways for them to completely screw their employees, and in the process, the morale will be even worse while they put everybody on a mixed fleet contract, and Lord knows what else they'll try to get away with. So I hope, for the sake of UK aviation, that that does not happen. So they're just so pleasant. Like when you fly Virgin Atlantic, British Airways has some nice employees. There are a lot of nice employees, but Virgin Atlantic, I just find like most people actually seem to kind of enjoy their jobs, which I can't say about most people at most airlines, but I don't blame them because, yes. So it's not easy working in the airline industry, I'm sure. Like, people are terrible. Not anybody watching this, but everybody else,
It's just hard. Like, people are, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's like I don't actually blame people in lost luggage departments for being mean when everybody's like, you lost my luggage.
Right. Well, that's always like the top tip that I give to people who are like struggling to get whatever done booking their travel. It's like, okay, you've all had a job where you didn't have a good manager who thought that training consisted of like sticking a note on the bulletin board. Like, just be nice to the person you're talking to. Like, all of these people, like the last 15 people they talked to yelled at them. Like, just don't be unpleasant and you can probably get a lot more done.
It's true. That's So were there other questions, Tiffany?
Yeah, Jerry had a question. Oh, I just kicked myself out and not Gil. It's just
Thank
now
Gil
is the only one live streaming.
Here of kicking people in and out and making the screen somehow appear so it looks correct in the YouTube video, but Skype looks like a hot mess, but the rest looks cool, so that's good.
Look, you're welcome. Thank you for saying thank you. So Jerry asked, this is something I think a lot of people have this problem. He's got some SkyPass miles. doesn't see that they can really be able to add to them. What's their ideal use? He only has 25,000, but I know a lot of people are in this situation.
Yes, I mean, so more generally, I'm in the same situation. Tiffany's in the same situation. I have, I think, 600,000 SkyPass miles because at the time, it was really smart to transfer them from Chase Ultimate Rewards when Chase cut ties with Korean Air, because Korean Air lets you redeem for first class, which other SkyTeam programs generally don't on partners. So it seemed like a good idea, but of course now, without travel and with SkyPass soon raising redemption rates as of, is it this April or was it last April or next? I don't know, whatever it is, soon.
I actually don't know.
I thought it was
because it's May.
Well, I thought it was like April 30th, 2020, but we'll honor the old prices for 12 months, in which case I'm like, so April 30th, 2021? Like, what does that mean? Whatever it is. But with 25,000 miles, you could try to redeem on Delta within the US. I think that would cover a domestic round trip award.
Yeah, I think you could even do Hawaii, couldn't you?
Is it 35? Whatever it is. But I would look at something domestically or Caribbean on Delta is probably the best. The sad part is, at this point, for those with more SkyPass miles, Korean Air is raising redemption rates on their own flights, but not on partner flights. So the partner first class options include Saudia and China Eastern. So yeah, I mean, Saudia was actually, I mean, I don't know, I get a lot of crap for Saudia, but they have excellent mocktails. Like, I actually felt like I was getting a little drunk when I had the mocktail, so it was good. You close your eyes and just imagine.
That's probably just a lot of sugar. That's probably what it was. It was a sugar high. Like, it was probably like, take the glass, fill it 3/4 of the way full with sugar, add fruit juice, and then whatever else, and stir. And then I'm sure you did get drunk with it.
Basically, that was. I mean, there's only so much you can do on Saudia that's exciting. You know, all the movies are, the TV shows like Big Bang Theory is very controversial. So it's yeah.
Should people still be collecting points with Air Canada?
Absolutely, and I have to say, I think Air Canada Aeroplan deserves a shout out right now. So, you know, they're developing a new program. It was supposed to launch this summer. Now it's going to launch in the fourth quarter. This comes after the whole situation of Aeroplan was a separate program and was going to, you know, Air Canada was going to spin it off and start their own program, but then they bought it and then blah, blah, blah. The history doesn't matter, whatever. But I've been really impressed by what they've been doing. I mean, the way they've been engaging members is very smart. They've made it possible to earn status from home. If you actually qualify for status this year, in addition to them extending it, you can gift it to somebody else, to a family member or friend. Like, they're doing some really smart things that I think really get at what people are looking for when they're at home. Today they sold miles at a very low cost, even though that was much more popular than I would have expected.
Well, and I think in that part, they were really let down by points.com, who was hosting that. Like, you could tell it was the point servers crashing. Yeah, no, the Air Canada and Aeroplan are a really good example of the difference that having a smart, nimble team makes in, like, being able to react to a situation. I think that everybody wishes that there was more management discretion in funding things like the call center. Like, that whole situation is, you know, an unreasonable disaster still.
But I mean, I have pretty good faith that, you know, they claim they don't want to devalue things. We'll see what actually happens, but I've been impressed so far. So my point is that I don't think they're going to, when they launch this new program, you know, absolutely make it terrible. I think they're actually going to try. So hopefully that's the case. Yeah. So keep earning Aeroplan miles, I think. Or ideally, keep earning transferable points that you can transfer to Aeroplan at any point, but don't transfer them until you need them. But
well, I think this person, Navin, I'm guessing he's in Canada. So your transferable points options are, like, the Cobalt card is a good option there, because then you can do some shenanigans, and Kate did a post on that. But otherwise, they sort of have to get the co-branded cards for the big earnings rates. So awesome. This was fun. I think this was fun. It was a little stressful for me, but you all seem to enjoy it.
This was so much fun. Thank you, guys.
So maybe we will do this again. I appreciate that everybody was, like, a great Skype attendee. I did not feel like we were playing chat roulette with having to kick people off for various reasons. So that was awesome. Maybe we'll do this again. Sunday, are we going to invite our moms?
Yeah, that could be fun. Yes. That's a good idea. Let's do that.
So hit the bell if you want to get reminded on Sunday. We're going to try and
We'll see how
bring
that goes on the technology front.
our moms or someone's mom. We might just be like, again, who can just join Skype first?
We'll give it a try. Yes,
It'll be Ford's mom. Like, let's be honest. Like, if there's a mom who's going to be able to be like, what? There's something that requires technology and socialness. It'll be Leanie.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. This was really fun and at spur of the moment. So very cool. And yes, have a nice Thursday. Happy Friday tomorrow. And whatever happens then. So
awesome.
thank you guys.
See you guys on the blog in the meantime. Thank you so much.
Bye.